Welcome to the final match of day one, week number 2 here at College COD. My name is Seymour, jumping in with proper cast for the last match of the day. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing pretty good, man. You know, it's getting pretty late over here as far as the East Coast is concerned, but I'm just excited to watch more College COD. We've already had 2 banger matches. We're getting really deep into as far as week 2 is concerned. We're only 1 week away as far as the shakeup is entailed for the CCL, man, so all these teams realistically got to start laying it on the line.
And you know what? I'm excited for this matchup, too, because it feels like forever since we had both Indiana and Purdue on the same matchup here in College COD. For Purdue, it feels like it's been forever since I've seen them in general here in College COD. But for the Boilermakers, they're back. 2-0 start to the season for Indiana, the Hoosiers. It's been 1-1. We can look to the head-to-head to see where those troubles have lied. I don't think those stats are correct for the Boilermakers, barring maybe it was a forfeit win. But for Indiana, it's a 3-0. Okay, that one's going to make sense. But for Indiana, the Hoosiers, it's a 3-0 and then an 0-3 for themselves. So I'm not sure if they're looking to bounce back or ride the momentum right now.
Yeah, like I was saying, that round 1 bye for the Boilermakers, and then they 3-0'd Roosevelt, 3-0 in 2 different directions, as you pointed out there. For the Hoosiers, 1 versus Cincinnati, their varsity team, the University of Cincinnati, should be more specific, and then the Pioneers out of Carroll. So, and not a whole lot of reps, but I mean, at least there are 6 maps played comparatively to the opposite side. It's funny for me, too, again, being around CCL for such a long time. Like, there was at one point, like, the Boilermakers, the only thing they were mostly known for was just their abysmal search and destroy performance over the past couple of years. I feel like we haven't like seen Purdue, but it's honestly really funny going up against as far as this matchup is concerned, because as far as like scholastic sports it goes, Indiana versus Purdue is very decorative. One of which the Hoosiers rarely ever lose, but I don't know if that ever transcends into Call of Duty. Only time will tell. I know that whole shift is probably really hoping so, but unbiased caster sitting at that couch for sure.
I mean, he's just riding a national championship high right now for the Indiana Hoosiers. But, you know, time will tell. And at the end of the series, Andy, you'll have your answer in how the matchup for Call of Duty works between these 2 scholastic matchups. For the best of 5, we saw a whole lot of diversity in our last match number 2 in the night. For this one, it's going to be a whole lot of Den. Starting off with the Colossus, the Raid, we get a triple dose of Den if this one does go the distance. But we saw the Colossus in Search and Destroy format in our second match of the night. This time, we get to kick it off with the Hardpoint.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that Raid, Search and Destroy. I mean, it's a map that's been in the game for so long, to the point where I think it's been around Call of Duty longer than freshmen in college have even been on this planet, Colin. But I think that it's one of those things that you get a good feel for each other. Like, you get the bang out Colossus Hardpoint map 1, get the gunnies warm, then you go in that Raid, Search and Destroy, and all bets are almost off the table. It feels like the strategies and timings are all thrown out the window. We're still learning what Raid, Search and Destroy does have at its disposal for this game, and its title for the last time that we played it during Cold War, boots on the ground, not exactly too fast. I will say this much: we do have to reach that distance to see the Den Hardpoint in the Den Search and Destroy. The score lines, and from what I was able to gather from that 3-0 versus Roosevelt, comparatively to the other side for Indiana, Purdue put them down in a dirty fashion. So I'm really interested to see what the Boilermakers do have at their disposal going in towards this season, because these are a whole bunch of new names for me comparatively to what Purdue esports even looked like a few years ago.
Of course, it's a very slower back half of the series than it is to start things off if we do get to those Dens, Hardpoint, and Search and Destroy 4 and 5. But time, I think, is something that both of us are looking forward to with these 2 teams to learn how they work inside and out. Colossus is going to be good, or Colossus is going to be a good litmus test, Andy, in terms of what to expect. I mean, we saw the Blackheart in our last series, how much of a bang out that was with 5 hills. Now we get a similar tell with just 4 hills, and how fast that this map can be, how these 2 teams really handle pressure. What kind of tempo are they going to set? Who's going to be the slayers? Everything's going to be answered here in map 1.
Javid D-Real made a map video about this, talking about the hardpoint and the spawns. You know how many unique spawns there are in Colossus Hardpoint?
4.
5, actually.
5? Oh.
Yeah. There's a whopping 3 on the P4 side.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
That is impressive. So
you can only imagine just how in-depth that video really did get. All respect to Javid. It actually really does go like far. Like, you're supposed to be able to manipulate like the routes, and this is what I was kind of like, not necessarily like joking about, but this is what we come to expect for College COD. These are collegiate athletes at the end of the day. They don't get all the time and the luxury to be grinding S&D wagers or to be able to sit there continuously throughout the day, to be scrimming and to be able to work out all these different timings. So they're going to be throwing a lot of different weird and unique timings. So that's what I'm mostly looking at for Colossus Hardpoint at the CCL level. Who's going to be taking those routes? Who's going to be taking a little bit of a risk with that SMG in hand to maybe make that play from behind? Because that P2, P3, P4 stretch can be an absolute doozy if you let one number go unnoticed from the top or bottom center of the map.
You know, for these college athletes, too, in terms of roles that you're running in Call of Duty, you look at the top pros, map like Colossus, easily you can see up to 7 Draviks on the map at once. For something like College COD, a lot of teams aren't going to be used to running the Dravik that much. A lot of players are going to be more comfortable with the M15 in their hands, so that's also going to hinder some of that, you know, risk-taking pressure that sometimes you see out of those subs, out of your playmakers. I think that's a great point, Andy, in terms of, you know, who's going to be the one to really step up and be that risk taker inside of map number 1. It's something that you and I just get to learn for a brand new team. And for Colossus, I think personally there's no better map to really learn a team so far. I think that Blackheart gets really close to it, but you learn a lot about a player and how they can manage a map as small and as quick as this one indeed. And for someone like Javid, who puts together a video in terms of the spawns, I'm sure that even with 5 spawns on a map, Andy, he's able to turn it into a 20-minute video. The guy's got too big of a brain.
Yeah, way too much going on up there. I don't know why he's not developing that into a team, beyond me, but hey, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this map number 1 and see some of these unique spawns and routes being taken underway. Again, top, bottom, center, where that arrow and that chevron on the bottom left side of the mini-map is located. That's where you're mostly going to be fighting over when it all comes to be said and done. Your SMGs are going to be getting mixy here on the map number 1.
And right away, it's 3 down for Purdue. Indiana making quick work with those SMGs into the hard point to get a little bit of that early time. Kenny shut down on the flank, but it's Phobos to now jump in for this P1 presence. 30 seconds, the outside, quick shutdown by Revy. An immediate collapse from Purdue, looking to get inside of this early time. Kraken shot in the back, and it looks like Purdue finally get a break.
I was looking at the League OS team page here for the Purdue Boilermakers. I thought I was looking at the MW 2019 Toronto Ultra roster. There were so many different player members, I was not sure which we were going to be getting, but nice to see Blix, Pickle, Revy, and Mike and Ike representing here for the Boilermakers. Only able to get themselves 8 points. They are getting some rogue spawns as well. The Hoosiers out of Indiana off to an electric start with about 28 seconds, and the spawns for new.
You got a player lurking in the back, though. Revy should be known back there, too, but it doesn't seem he's unbeknownst. He's going to have a good jump in with the early damage off. That nade cleans up, too. Revy comes in with some help for go down. Still a spawn in the back for Indiana. The Hoosiers got a good chance at fighting this one. A split spawn from number 3, Phobos, but so far away from the play, it's going to have to be a little bit of a timing from Indiana to work off of this pinch. Phobos is going to activate Revy alone. Big double kill for an 8-4 start. Purdue keeping this one close, but Indiana off those close spawns still hold on to the time.
That's what I was talking about. Again, you get like that back spawn on the back of the hard point. Like, it's a very normal spawn because the LOS was broken on the backside where player number 2 just spawned in quick. You're never going to expect that one player was lurking unless you are fully counting numbers, but as a big moment for Purdue, try to fight back to get themselves some semblance of time to dismay Hoosiers from trying to get P1 to P2 and then having a strong setup for P3. Good coverage here from Mike down low. Bottom side of P1 even catches a second, forces out the TK for the third. That can set things up wonderfully for Indiana on this rotation. Blix is able to find 2. Just keep the Hoosiers honest for now.
That's a game-saving double kill from Blix on the flank. Allows for the rest of the Boilermakers to work off that respawn, get back into the hill, and continue to lay some bodies on the time. Blix running another flank unchecked. Only good for 1 this time, but it should be enough to close this lead even further. Only 10 seconds splitting these 2. There's 20 seconds off this hill. Nice shots from Dill Pickle. He's going to feel some pressure through the middle of the map. Good early shots, going to do some damage. Cleaned up by Blix. Team kill again from the Hoosiers. Blix back in for the contest. 4-point game, but Indiana hold on to the lead.
It's one of those Aaron Paul meme references. You can't keep getting away with this. It's those routes, man. So I gotta keep talking about it. Even if you go 1 for 1, it causes so many arrows to turn around, and even getting damage in the second should be setting up for easy trades. Strong lead for the Hoosiers off of the early get-go in towards the latter half of this first set. Purdue are barely trailing, but they fight their way through the front. You got the back spawn still for the Hoosiers, but they don't have their teeth synced in. It forces Kraken to spawn over by Statue. And that'll be the first 20 seconds kind of tossed up in the air between these two teams as Purdue got a lot of map to play with forward.
Considering that Kraken is 14-9, a 20-point game like this is something that I think the Boilermakers really going to latch on to. Fighting from the front of the hill, they do a good job of just bullying their way through without those spawns. They force the split spawn, so hopefully they can read this one in time, not to get shot in the back, and they do flood through. Blix with the pickoff for 3 in a row. Locking down those spawns in the back is going to be Revy. This is a moment where Purdue's can really come alive in this map number 1, looking for space through Statue. Phobo shuts it down. What incredible plays from Purdue to finally get a lead change.
Again, it comes from that one player to hit that route through top center. Everybody joins around P4. You get the one player to break the back spawns that you were talking about. Rev respawns, and he starts hitting the route over by boat. Clears all over the north side of the map, then gets up inside of P1 for the easy rotation. Elite swap, 20 plus now for the Boilermakers. Getting up Nixie, top of the map.
Okay.
12 and 9 now for Mike and Ike, 16 and 11 for Revy. Everybody was on a minor streak there from 4 into 1 call, and you talked about the Herculean scoreline for Kraken. He's slowed down considerably up to 15 and 12. It's still a great scoreline, but it's starting to really impact the overall score.
And you talk about impact, I think for Blix and Revy, they're finding so much with these dropics in hand. Mike and Ike's not going to be able to get through, but he's setting up Dill Pickle to at least continue to take time away from Indiana. 9 seconds left going into this P2 rotation. You do have the spawns in the back. Quick should have some timing here to clean up a few of the stragglers out of Purdue. He asks for some assistance. He receives that assistance, and with P1 control for Phobos, this is a really solid setup for the Hoosiers.
Can they hold, though? And Purdue did have an opportunity where they were able to get a player around the back. It seems that the Hoosiers are a little bit more aware of this, but the brute force around the front, that's exactly what spelled chaos for P4. Kraken with the pistol on the back, that could be for the spawns, and it is. He's going to have to concede at least 5 seconds into the front side of P4. He's got player number 2, Quick. He's on the pinch around the back, should be an easy 2-piece, and the break for the back 20.
It's Quick and Kraken together, 4 in a row, makes it number 5. Kraken sliding in, taking the rest out. Hoosiers holding on to this lead narrowly, but some major plays coming out from your SMG duo. Quick looking to get that scrap time as well, bouncing around this hard point. Hoosiers going big in those moments. It is a close game, Andy, but it is an exciting one as we get to P3.
Kraken really trying to will his way. Phobos trying to find the entry over by boat. That's the Godheady and the spawns of the back for the Hoosiers, but Dill Pickle holding strong to the bottom side of P1. It's all tied up, 126 to 126. Let's go for a comms listen in with the Hoosiers.
I'm a bullet.
Go enter green. Left. Turn around.
Oh yeah, deep back yellow.
I have turf.
One could be on the pinch, no?
Give me a front.
Godheady dead.
I'm pitching left. Got it. Nice. I'm trying to get the yellow. What's the yellow? Oh, yeah, well, one more yellow. He's going. One's going P1. They're pinching. I can pick that up. I have it.
Green.
Green.
Dead.
One shot front in there. Might have been him.
Dead. Get the rest of the time. I'm getting pushed out.
One yellow.
One yellow.
I have your help.
P1 low.
Go deep.
Jumped out.
Go deep. Oh, yo, close.
Nice.
I'm going deep, quick. He's gonna be.
Yo, close up. Hold one shot.
Nice, good shit, Trey.
In yellow.
Heard you.
I spawned out. I spawned back.
Yo, there's 2
I can come over.
Stay push up quick.
One more marble. He went P1. One went P1.
Yeah, he's P1.
I don't have a trope. I did not have a trope.
I don't either.
Stay out. We got yes. I'm dead. I'm going bullet. I'm getting blocked.
No overlapping comms. Cool, sharp, concise. Andy, those were great comms coming up from the Hoosiers.
Yeah, big takeover moment coming through. We thought it was just Kraken at the start. He slowed things down, picked things back up, and he was not alone. In troves come the Hoosiers. 25 and 23 now for Quick. Kenny We were talking about it here before we pop back into the listen-in. He was at a very quiet spree. 5 spree, pops back in for what is now his next life. Up to a 3 spree Revy. Thought that he had him dead to rights, has to favor towards the front, and he's going to get traded out by Quick regardless. But what a turn of events throughout the second set of hard points out from the Hoosiers. It's a landslide.
I want to say it's like a fire in the comms that really ignites the Hoosiers there for that P3, P4 rotation, but we didn't get that in the comms at all. It's just the pieces are falling together, and the consistency is being found in that slaying category. Indiana full takeover mode in the back half of this Colossus with the biggest lead that we've seen so far since the start of the game out of Indiana, and they got the P2 spawns here, Purdue. They need to not only fight through P1, but break through the back as well. And you see Dill Pickle trying his best to get those back spawns, but he's alone.
Baby's got to do what a baby's got to do. Dill Pickle, he's anchoring the spawns. Where's player number 7 spawn? Spawn all the way in the back? Nobody's over. No, he doesn't get the spawn. Now it's a 1-for-1 trade. Player number 3 spawns all the way over by P4. That means that Dill Pickle pushed forward. One player is missing. It's Quick. He's in the backside of the P2 area, and he gets cleared out. Split spawns over by P4. A foot race for top center, and it's all coming up for Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue, big plays from Dill Pickle. Good read on the back spawns. Mike and Ike over the top, not able to get it done. And Indiana not going to let up this pressure. You see the flank coming out from number 2, Quick, alongside Kraken. Both of them looking to crack open the doors. Blix now alone in this matter, and he's not able to fight from the outside. Still plenty of time to win.
So ultimately, can close things out here quick. Might just seal the deal with top center control. Goes for the Eagle Chow. He finds damage on a 2, but Blix, the nade, he finds 2. The foot race towards the front is on, and that means that Purdue have fully broken in towards P2. The spawns are so good for the Hoosiers. They're going to have to hit all the way through this whole time. One player's breaking all the way out. It's Phobos over by P3. Can he win this initial 1v1? That should surely seal the game.
Oh, that's going to be it right there for Phobos. 6 seconds. Nobody in the time, though, and it's a Hail Mary from Mike and Ike. Hellstorm's going to be called in. Phobos going to be tough to make your way onto that, but with Dill Pickle being taken out, Phobos gets traded through the middle. It's Quick, slides out for 2. 6 seconds, 3 go down, and that might just be it. Kraken's firing his way forward, shutting down the respawners, and the Hoosiers out the gates in map number 1 with some pretty confident chows.
Oh, yeah. And they were definitely confident to be taken. I mean, when Kraken had a fantastic first set, and then you see the lead get swapped, and you ask the question yourself, Colin, like, there's just no way that the kill discrepancy should be this dispersed. And we should be looking at a scoreline just like this. Watch this double helix. Just immediately get crossed in P2 for the second set. And then the Hoosiers locked in. And it's more than just one player. Everybody started firing off on all cylinders. These routes starting to get ran. And then all the Boilermakers started getting ran over. I mean, they essentially got flatlined towards the end of the second set. Barely had any premise throughout the first set. And the only reason why they did was because it was P1. And it's just a mix fest over there. At that point, the Hoosiers knew that they had such an incremental lead that they could just call game because it's Colossus, baby. And it's so hard to string those hard points together.
And I mean, Andy, I think there's just a moment where you see that Purdue fighting from the front of a lot of those hills, losing out on those early rotations. They were able to bully through players like Kenny. It's a slow start from him, but as soon as Kenny locked in around that second P3 rotation, that's when this whole game separated. I mean, he went from 14 and 22 to 25 and 28 to end out map number 1. I mean, that turnaround alone was enough to stop Purdue from getting those early breaks, picking up that extra route that the Boilermakers kept on punishing you on, and allowing your team like Quick and Kraken to, you know, get busy, get active, push forward, be those annoying slayers that Indiana has at their disposal. 35 and 30, 38 and 22. 4,200 damage out of Kraken. I mean, it's crazy that game was so neck and neck. But then you got to praise the ability of Purdue to keep it so close here at the start of that game, and especially somebody like Blix.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the 64 engagements, the majority of those were all found on the flanks where the NTKs typically come from, but I just got to give another big shout out to, I mean, like Quick and Kraken. 28 NTK, but the 21 NTK out of Quick. 20 of those elims, not NTK, but 20 of 35 came from within the hard point. He's just anchoring things down, man. 34 objective kills between him and Kraken is insane. And to be fair, like when Purdue were locked inside the hardpoint, you can see what it means for them. Like they're able to convert so many different kills. I just think that it came from the spawns and the hesitation, the difference maker, and something that the stats will never show you all at home. And yeah. I desperately hope that you all go watch the CDL this weekend and heed my warning for Blackheart and Colossus. Watch what happens when the teams are able to recognize that the spawns have flipped instantly. It's the difference in between being able to lock away 20 to 30 and sometimes 40 to 50. And that 20-point difference is going to be the 250 to 174 win for the Hoosiers on that map, number one. And that is momentous when you think about Raid Search and Destroy, because you feel like that the sprinting may never end.
There's not a lot of spawns on Colossus, so when you can dominate them the way that Indiana did, and there's who you have at 250, 174. It doesn't get easier than that towards the end for Indiana. A little bit of a fight back, though, when it comes to Purdue in terms of the slaying. And Andy, as we look towards this Raid Search and Destroy, that's kind of where that slaying can come in handy, especially a player like Blix, who is not afraid to run routes on Raid. You think about putting a Draffic in his hand if he's playing on defense over towards the pool side. Water routes are huge on this map. Any way that you can find your way around those attackers or defenders, run a route. I think that's what Blix is going to be looking for. And I think that that's where my eyes are going to be drawn towards to see if Purdue can tie us up.
Who's going to be sniping? It's going to be the biggest question for me.
Dill Pickle.
Like when it comes down to like Raid, it's just like, you see so many people just like bringing on the sniper so early. It's just like, you clear the map in about 3 seconds anyway, so
well,
gonna have a little bit of a lobby reset here. So yeah, I think that like sniping can be one of those things that you could have a real pop-off moment, or you could be a detriment to your team just for like how Raid works. I mean, think about it from like a numerical disadvantage when you're on either side of the bomb, right? Like you have like your sniper, we'll just take it from the laundry side of the map, right, Colin? Like when you lose your sniper inside of laundry, all of that ring control is just gone. Then you have to like bump your B-ball player to pick up mid then has to go pick up laundry, and it's just like you're always going to be losing one of these lanes. Like Raid has been made much similarly to a lot of these maps that we do have in BO7 to our disposal, that when you do have a lack of visual awareness for one of these lanes, especially a Search and Destroy, you're probably going to get flanked pretty quickly, especially with the pace of play in this game.
Yeah, I think that, you look at the other iterations of Raid that we've had, Black Ops 2, I mean, the movement wasn't all there. You had a DSR, and you're able to get those timings pretty consistently. Cold War, you didn't have to worry about snipers. Black Ops 7, now you add a little bit of a skill gap in terms of the speed and the pace with not only tack sprint, but wall bouncing. And people can get across the map in Raid in sub 10 seconds, Andy. So when you don't have a line of sight with that sniper, you're right. It's really easy to kind of miss a timing on a map like Raid. It's kind of, in my opinion, been dumbed down a little bit in terms of how fast it can be to really get into a position of aggression. But that's kind of where the fun is on a map like this, is that when you get those aggressive battles from the subs, who's going to be the one to walk out on top? Who's going to be the one to dictate that speed? Who's going to be the one to win those early battles? Have the space in your favor, and you're going to be all the better for it.
Oh yeah, we'll have to see. We'll get our second attempt to load into the map, and it is a good one. Offense first for the Boilermakers. Sniper in the hand for Revy. He's quick to the bottom side of red. And no one is around. Here's Kraken immediately on that hot flank. There you go.
Yeah, already flank working out, and this is what I'm talking about. You're in the enemy spawn, you turn it into a double kill, not able to play your life, but you've done the damage. The round's done. We just started, Andy.
Yep.
This is Raid in 2026. That is a 5-second round.
Nobody's even thinking about the flank coming all the way through Zig. There was no pressure. I don't even think there was a single nade that might have even been thrown over to dismay any P5 pressure that came through as quickly as it did. So, something that might have to be thought about for the Boilermakers the next time they're on that side of the bomb. I'll have to now see what the Hoosiers are able to produce over on their opening offense. I imagine it's probably going to be something aggressive through the middle of the map.
Kind of. Kenny's got the
sniper
snipe out.
Kenny, Kraken's up close. There you go.
And you know what? You don't get the kill with the sniper, but if you pull the attention as soon as you see that glint, and that allows Kraken to make a play like that. Another double kill from Kraken. You get one extra from Quick. Mike and Ike in a 1 versus 4. Almost get some good shots there on the second player, but back-to-back really quick rounds out of Indiana. This is kind of what I was worried about at the end of that Colossus. They had so much of that pace being dictated that you go over towards Raid and it's suffocating to watch.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. It's suffocation. And, you know, for a better lack of phrase, you know, when Neptune's talking about it, it's the team that blitzed the best is probably going to do quite well on this map mode combination. That's exactly what you get the sniper first up through Zig, sniper right in your, or an SMG right in your face. You either go 1 for 1 or an SMG's just inside a kitchen, and that's a devastating place to be. So nades go right inside a kitchen ceremoniously.
Good
Revy
read.
AR this time, expecting the challenge for open stairs. Numbers this time for Boilermakers.
I was gonna say, that's a good change up from Purdue. You got those set nades, you try to catch the timing, force Kraken into a situation where you can read where he's coming from, and Revy gives Purdue a chance to put themselves on the board. Blix now working into laundry. You have the space that you want. Let's see if you can activate with it, and the timing for Dill Pickle's gonna be perfect. Mike and Ike is the initial shots, and they've completely taken the bomb over towards B now. Revy through the middle of the map's gonna get cut down. You still have numbers in this post plant. Can you get away?
Oh no. Oh, it's all falling away though. Blix. That's a tough 1v1. Quick is able to walk away with it. He's still 71 HP. It's a high-low setup inside a bed. He's got to rip the first. He gets damage into Mike, info into the second.
24 seconds. I mean, Quick's gonna have to hit some incredible shots.
And
Dill Pickle, he just knows all you gotta do is throw shoulders, make sure that they're not on the bomb. You do not have to take that shell until the time is ripe. There it is for Purdue, off a start where Revy catches Kraken on the flank. This time around, you win that early battle, you hold on to those lives, and you pay the post plant perfectly.
very difficult map, regardless of what situation you find yourself in, to fight back from a numbers disadvantage. And you got to hope for a pop-off moment, and when one of your pop-off players just isn't in a situation to maybe make something like that happen, numbers offensively, you just sway it over towards one of the bombs, double chow this, triple chow that, probably going to walk away with a round win. That's their first for the Boilermakers. Let's see if they can stop this onslaught for the Hoosiers. They seem to be a little bit more honest, waiting for their nades and the timings. Ring control here for Kraken. He eats a nade right to the jaw.
Purdue's really picked up in terms of these set nades at the start. Trying to keep Kraken on the leash. Slow down the tempo, which should be slow with an M15, but he's still looking to get active. Top laundry now for Kraken, holding the corner. You were surrounded, but look at the middle of the map. Phobo's trying to make a re-wrap, see if he can catch some timings there. Quick is going to get that kill. 3 go down. It's Kenny alone. He gets tagged up to turn on, and Purdue tie us back up.
Getting a little too twisted over there right now, Kraken. He's YYing so hard, he had his pistol out by accident, going for the back laundry child, which is the right response. Talking about the reverted pressure over by P5 through the middle of the map that was pressurizing the Zig area inside of red. And the Hoosiers were just looking for counteracting pressure over by laundry, which they were able to get, to be fair, albeit information being wonderful for Purdue. Just couldn't find the gunfights into the back to be able to keep numbers. So two rounds answered for the opening 2 for the Hoosiers. And it's offense going back over to the middle of the map. And Kraken is just sprinting. He gives away his life so easily, man.
And if that's going to be how things go for Indiana, it seems like Purdue is going to have your number again and again. Blix for a moment got spotted. Stun should give away that there's 2 members through mid, and Kenny's kill into Revy is going to give a lot of information to bottleneck this play through the middle of the map. Now Quick with that kill should know. Last 2 players are inside P5. This is where Indiana can constrict on the round. However, the Hoosiers, they are not batting an eye at this one. A lot of patience being shown. They do not want to overstep.
Oh, this opening gunfight's gonna be huge. Oh, Dill, that's good damage.
Oh, the
he wants a
punch.
little bit more. No,
What?
to come with the melee twice in a row. Someone hit up GS, never mind.
What just happened?
I don't know. We gotta get that man a new controller, though. Matt?
I get the first punch, you know, it's a panic knife, but the second one,
Yeah, that's tough, man.
he was losing his mind. That
That is a hell of a momentum stop, though.
It is. And that almost went from like one of the greatest chows to turn that into a 2v2 into what could have been. It's a major what if.
Stops momentum in its tracks. Seems that we can only streak together 2 rounds, so history is doomed to repeat itself. This will be 4-2 for the Hoosiers.
I haven't seen a sniper in a while from Kenny. Seemed like that's going to be the difference here. Kraken played off it originally, and Kenny should have that snipe out. Kraken does not get the information this time around, and here's the changeup from Indiana. Mid-map adaptation is Kraken slowing down.
Gets the red dot. Yeah, there's the pouncer on top, and Kenny's right there for the challenge outside of kitchen. It is so orchestrated. It's so wonderfully played. Still, 1v3, tough 1v1 gunfight through the windows of the black van. And you feel like the moment that he challenges to get inside this bomb site, he is all but dead to rights.
Yeah, 1v3.
But yeah, I think that's like one of those things, man. Like, if you go back to like the offense that Indiana started this entire escapade with, they've won. Hold on a second.
Hold up. 25 seconds. Maybe one more, and we're kind of looking at a clutch here. Over the top. He's been a way back in. Shots through.
Okay.
The pillars were good, but not good enough. I mean, it's good look, Andy, but I think you and I are kind of going for the same thing here looking at that round, is that Kraken this time playing off the contact of Kenny. And as soon as that red dot pops up, Kraken jumps into an angle to pick up that angle for pool stairs, and it really baits out that second for Kenny to take the challenge on kitchen. It's a really well orchestrated breakoff for Indiana.
Well, you talked about like the sniper not being in the hands for Kenny. Like that's the difference. He has an AR, and instead of like just taking that gut check chow, he sees one slide all the way to money, no information on the second, but the patient comes through just to lurk. So that's a big 2-round swing now for the Hoosiers, as the nade from Kraken lands right into the lap of Blix. It's a big gun to be taken out. Revy just holding irons. He's expecting for someone to get egregiously challenging over by Zig. He would be right, but he can't even things up for his team.
I mean, that nade is almost salt in the wound for Purdue, especially on the attack. You've completely been halted in terms of trying to take some space. Every time Revy takes a gunfight, it's just shoulders being thrown, and he's trying to get some kind of a scam, but they're putting a lot of focus over towards A while the bomb is moving on B. This really is hoping to pay off for Mike and Ike, but he has been spotted by multiple players. He's getting collapsed on, and his teammate is now dropping the bomb. Dill Pickle, 1 versus 4.
1v4 post plant, and yeah, Kenny's just going to be holding it with the sniper. Finds the exit. That'll be 3 rounds in a row. Kenny here for the defuse, going to be putting himself just in striking distance from the Hellstorm, though the game might be over before he fully accrues that score streak. That is devastating. I mean, the nade for the first blood, you already lost numbers before you even had any information, because Blix is normally that island player, sometimes longing to go play for that long flank. And all of Purdue, once they gave away their red dots, were just completely coiled around where Indiana had all of their irons trained. Oh, man. Combined 8 spree for all the Hoosiers.
I was going to say, and on top of that, it just seems like pure panic on the side of Purdue. Really desperation in a lot of these play calls, but here's a switch up in terms of the rhythm. Revy blitzing it with the sub in hand now, puts away the M15. It's a new look at the Purdue Boilermakers and what they can really offer in this round. I'm not sure if they know exactly where Phobos is. They do not, but 1 versus 4, that would be an immaculate vibe kill.
Ooh, nice shots out of Phobos. He gets out AC. Bomb drop, though, and that's going to be the harder part of the laundry list here.
Lots of time.
He's going to get caught with his knife out here. Slides back. Isolated. Okay. Not the best opening shots, but okay. So Purdue keep things going ever so slightly. So Indiana, I think at that point for the offense, it's like the shame on me, like the 4th time, like what are we even talking about? Because like if you wanted to go for like Kenny, like the sniper from Zig, inside a kitchen, all of Purdue just revert the pressure by flooding out from kitchen. That pinch comes through open staircase, and then they just overwhelm Kraken. The sniper shot doesn't land. Kenny can't hold the angle. The other player that was there got damaged, and Kraken's left inside of P5 out on an island. And by the time that he dies, damage from the second player never got regenerated. And that's exactly how you handle that. Nades need to land in front of front Zig. we'll have to see if Purdue can win this offense to force that next defense.
Well, how much can Purdue push Indiana against the ropes on this attacking side? 4 players up over towards A. It looks like they have a chance to get an early plant off, and they're planting it for Laundry, which is wide open. Blix has a chance to make a play through mid, and through the smoke, he's going to activate First Blood to Purdue. And now he's getting lost, but that's not going to stop them at all. Redview on the other side just completely collapsing. Early damage finds the finisher. It's Kraken this time, 1 versus 3. Opposite side of the map. See if he can get things going for the comeback in the round, but Purdue back-to-back bangers.
Yeah, and that entire route, that flank all the way to the backside, Mike had it read yesterday. That quick plant coming through, immediate Laundry control being conceded. The round happened so fast, I don't even remember what the opening break-off for Indiana even looked like, but, I mean, you take the gamble. If you are Purdue, out of the 1 of 2 bomb sites, if not 1 of 3 areas on the map where not being flooded by the Hoosiers, and they were able to get that quick plant. Very difficult retake 4v4, but now a 5 spree for Evie. He is getting active. The footstep counter is counting all the way up. It's got to be close to 10k.
Well, Blix in the shoulder is going to get some information. Follow up from Indiana. Can Glitz get anything out of this? He cannot. Dill Pickle has to stay alive. The pre-fire's not going to connect, but he squares up for nothing. 2 versus 4. Mike and Ike's going to get trampled over, and all of this seems to be for naught. Revy stops the bomb from going down, but he has so much traffic ahead of him, and that traffic runs him over in Game 2. 6-4, the Hoosiers go back-to-back in maps, leading the series 2-0 in the best of 5.
It's just unfortunate in a way to end. I mean, IU throw exactly what the Boilermakers were finding success with in round 10 to close things out. It's just a good old classic ballroom blitz, baby. Run them all down.
Oh, and the
10
only
rounds
round,
deep, but yeah, go ahead.
the only round that doesn't get transferred through First Blood is that round 5 from Indiana so early on. The rest of it is just First Blood, and we get the round.
That's raid, man. It's raid, search, and destroy in BO7. Very difficult, like I was talking about at the beginning of this. Map number 2 between these two Scholastic Esports representations, man. Like, I just don't think that, especially at the CCL level, like, no shade to them, unless you pop an insane 2 or 3 piece, are you ever going to come back from a numbers disadvantage on raid, search, and destroy? It is so mixy, but the team that blitzed the best will probably come out on top. I know it didn't rhyme, then I'm sorry to let you down, Colin, but that's just the way the news blows.
Dude, you never let me down. Just got to work on some of the rhyme.
I ain't no Dr. Seuss.
Well, for the Hoosiers of Indiana, you look back at some of the performances that we do have, and off of map number 1, one player that really stepped up at the end of that hard point was Kenny. You go into game number 2, right there alongside Kraken, making so many plays through the middle of the map. And really unchecked and under the radar was Quick's performance too in this game. 8-5. When it comes to First Bloods, it was only Kraken there, but for the follow-up, Quick was right alongside them all. 1,000 damage, doing a lot for the team. Phobo's not far behind with that damage, but really the supporting cast.
Yeah, I mean, Kraken putting on his best, like, Abeezy Atlanta Phase impersonation, like, live or die by the First Blood. I mean, we played 10 rounds, and 8 of the First Blood engagements, like, Kraken was a part of. Like, it's insane. It's actually absurd. But, like, yes, shout out Kenny, 1,200 damage, like, the sniper rifle for the team. The reason why Kraken was getting away with a highway robbery in the middle of the map was because of Kenny's presence, either with the AR or the sniper rifle. It's tough to be that shining SMG superstar without the supporting staff. We all know who you are. Revy definitely showed things up there towards the end of the map. Almost 1,300 damage. He led the entire lobby, at least in that category. 9 NTK. He went on that crazy 7 spree we saw, but it was all for naught. It just felt like that Purdue just were a little bit too late to the ballroom blitz, and Indiana just were a little bit too adept as far as their opening nades are concerned. And, well, Kraken as it may be, just absolutely running them down.
And I mean, it kind of spins up a good head-to-head going into this game number 3 for the Overload. We look at Den up next, another map where your SMGs can really come alive. For Kraken, it has just been non-stop go, 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 rush, blitz, do whatever I can to be on the flank at all times in the map. On the other side, map number 1, Blix was doing that on the Colossus, Andy, but you get shut down in the map number 2, and Blix was really struggling in terms of being that aggressive SMG for the team. I mean, we saw the moment towards the end when Purdue put a couple of rounds on the board through that defensive push they had through the middle of the map. And Blix was working alongside Revy with that Dravik, but going into map number 3, I think I'm looking at Blix here to find that momentum that we saw in map number 1, kind of bring it back for the team and really step up in terms of being that slaying leader.
Especially like when it comes down to Den. We were talking about like the digital green screen or green room, excuse me. Like when it comes down to like Den overload, like yes, they did change the spawns, but regardless, like it is so easy to get lost in this map mode combination. Just in this map, in any 3 of the game modes, Colin, especially for a very high-paced SMG. And I'm glad you pointed out Blix, because he was that guy. Go back towards that Colossus. Was constantly taking routes. If you can couple that along with like Revy's capability, the slayering that we got in that map number 2, it's gonna be a different look for Purdue. I mean, realistically, the only big difference was probably that 30-point deficit, and then them just absolutely flatlining towards the 3rd set in that map number 1. We'll have to see if they can force things to at least a map number 4. Den is going to remain on the docket if we're able to do so.
And just to preface, the overlay is flipped at the top, and now it's better, but it's going to be a little bit confusing in terms of the arrows on the map. The red arrows are Purdue, the white arrows are Indiana. You got to remember that for sure across this map number 3. But off the break off, it doesn't seem like you're going to be snowballing right away. Chance for a defensive stop for Purdue. Everybody's going to be here to set up. Unfortunately, the nade's not going to finish the kill, but it does set up Phobos for a chance. I don't think Blix was moving there. Kind of makes me a little bit worried.
Is he moving off spawn?
He is moving on spawn. Okay. I got worried for a second that he might have disconnected.
I think he might have like got like stunned, like hard stunned. there was a lot of stun going over there. Dill for 2. Revy for the 3rd. No score off of that previous escapade, but there's no tree coverage at all, and Revy's gonna get cut down because of it. Blix cut through Dragon. Pickle on the opposite side. There's just not enough numbers to be able to get that score, but yeah, very good opening minute and a half, I will say. Just very close affairs between these 2 teams as far as scores.
You know, I like the call, though, to re-wrap through Dragon. You get that second kill of the pistol. That is for sure a capture out of the Boilermakers. But a couple offensive attacks stopped, and we stay scoreless a couple minutes into this game. So now on the other side, flank being formed from Kraken. See if he gets here in time to go down, though, and it's really up to Kraken to be that difference. He finds the carrier. 3, make it 4 go down. It's Kenny and Kraken again to break through the Boilermakers, and he is already in a position to do some serious damage over towards the other spawn. See if he can be that first blocker for Kenny to detonate the objective. First goal on.
Yep, first score there. Quick Kenny there off the exit to find 3. Still got lurking members over by their B portal. Phobos will fully clear away the spawn, but not before another player takes off of that mantle over towards the opposite side of the map. Finally fully cleared. Kraken playing for the respawn. Over by 10 for the second device. Got one player, he's nearby, is going to be Revy. He's not even looking in this direction either, so it's a quick pickup for the device. They're going to start running this down over by B. If they win the initial, that should be the score, but
there
Kraken still going to be able to get the trade and the score as well. I'm not too sure. Purdue were showing a lot of focus in the middle of the map and over by Roof. None over by the device.
What do you know? It's just a kind of sleeper game from Blix. 2-9 to start off this map. You just cannot be having that. You've had a couple of opportunities if you're Purdue to really capture this objective, but if Blix steps up, might be actually looking at a tie game here. Mike and Ike on the flank. He's going to get a kill towards the objective. Looking to be that lead blocker for the first score out of the Boilermakers. They get it through, and we go back to the middle of the map. 1 point difference.
Yeah, 1 point difference here. Revy finding kills inside of Dragon. If you can stay alive and remain to be a nuisance, it would be massive over by Cobble, but he's getting the call that players are weak over by mid. Finds the first his teammate there for the second. The force spree still alive. 16-5 now for Revy. 1 player over by Guns. Phobos makes it all the way out over by the roof shingles. The device gets picked up by Pickle, and Revy's still shrieking over by the desk.
Oh!
Player's weak from the pistol. He was full HP, by the way, and Revy is shutting them down. Has no more bullets, but he has a Hellstorm in his back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, tie game. Revy's got the Hellstorm. Things are looking up for the Boilermakers, and I mean, a slow start for Blix, but at least your teammate is giving you a chance here. Kraken now looking to return the favor. However, it's Revy yet again, 20-6 to hold the line, slow things down. Minute left on the clock.
Just down to 45 seconds. Revy.
It's so good.
Shoot straight, man. 4 in a row again. 22-6. He picks up the M15. Kraken's going to slow things down. But the device being picked up by Mike. It's behind Blix, who's the tip of the spear, and Quick will double things down. That will stop the device dead in its tracks. But there's still ample time for a score to come through. Pickle's not a part of this.
He's not.
He's going to be
late.
so late to this. He's going to be at the pinch.
Revy goes down. This time not going to be able to make that hero play, but Dill Pickle gets there just in the nick of time. 13 seconds. Your teammates spawn over towards P2. You got a chance to wrap this through the rooftops and have one more chance in overtime for the first half.
You don't have to go as fast as you think. Overtime's still going to be ensued, but if you wait even more longer, it's going to allow the defense to get themselves set up. And there it comes through. Wow, what an heroic effort. I'd have to go back and really slow down the time to really make sure. The reason why the device was not scored, you go back to like the exposure LAT moment where I think it was like Hydra like jumped to go for the slide. He died midair, so the device is all the way back where his boots were previously on the ground. And that's what forced like Kraken to go back, and he's like, wait a second, why is the device not right in front of the portal? That's the exact reason. That is an insane timing coming through for Pickle. And then they're able to rewrap that all the way through the roof side for a very bombastic half. Not the scoreline I thought we were going to be getting from the sides that we started on.
No, not at all, especially considering how slow Purdue looked out of the couple of those opening breakoffs. But I mean, when Revy goes 23-9, that's when the team really seems to ramp up. Full takeover moment. This is a perfect chance to hear what the comms sound like over for the Boilermakers.
Oh, he stuck me,
Tin dead. Alright, one's, yeah, bottom left. One's on new, P1, Kenny, he's stunned with the ball. Ball is stunned. You're going right, you're going left with it.
We're missing one on the flank. He's juking.
Right from your back. Yeah, bottom. And another one server, another one. One red and one server. Alright, 2 server. In red, stun, folks. He's stunned a dragon. Stun dragon. Lost on dragon, folks.
Dragon,
Dojo, I spawned Dojo, I can't help you. Trying to get there. Shit on. Nice. Another window. Charlie. He has it. He's back right. He's one shot on point, Kraken. He backed up. Nice. I have mid. It's three. Shit on. Four. I can grab. Go. He's in back. He's close left in the back. Oh no, mid cut. In the cut.
Oh, no, back up.
I have a shriek. Do you want me to shriek? I can shriek. I'm shrieking. Play your life. They're gonna my mid. I have your mid.
Whoa, he's in tunnel. They're 10.
Alright, two broken window and one's bottom lobby. One's couches. I can kill this kid. He's in the tin room and 2 broken. I got one. One's in the cut. Coming. He's stunned.
He turns around? Yo, one's in the left corner. There's 2 on the stairs and 1 in the left corner.
Weak. One's pushing you. No one in the room weak. Nice. 3.
One more.
Run it. He coming on the cross. Watch out, literally a bullet. There, we're good. I got.
A real good throw off the back of the streak usage from Revy. You try to make the play, 2 versus 1 at the end. Unfortunately, Blix just isn't able to trade that last remaining kill, and it stays even on the map, but it's Kraken this time to pick it up, park the bus, and slow it down for Indiana.
Tied things up, 3 apiece. Wrap coming back there from Kraken, over by 10. 3 players here, they're waiting for the respawn. Demonic. Player number 4 for Mike, he's cut all the way through couches. He's through the cut side, but the push to the front's still manifesting. It's a pinstripe kill feed that should stop this push dead in its tracks. You could not draw a line more even between these 2 teams in this game mode.
Oh, this is just so back and forth. Haymakers from either end. I mean, Revery's been good with the SMG, but no need to get active with the pistol without your team by your side. So you got a late flank coming out for Blix. Is it going to be red? This time it is. Team kill from Phobos, but another flank watch from Indiana. And the Boilermakers just have not been able to crack the code on getting a full setup for this B take.
Just gotta wait. Pickle He's got a really good stun. Did he see one slide across to the side? He picks up the device. There's two teammates. He's able to pick things up on the backside. Here comes a push from the front, but Kraken has the better angle, and he finds 3. 1:30 on the clock. It almost feels like the next score is called a cold game, man.
Almost feels that way for sure. As the Hoosiers are looking to fly, Kraken 4 in a row. Shouts out to Dojo. The damage, he gets it done, but it's only the 2. Nobody to help. Phobo's in mid, 3 down for the Hoosiers. It's Kenny. Can he stop the play? He slows it down for a moment, and nobody's got the device, but it's just 2 lead blockers and a device in the hands of Mike.
Oh, the nade hits Blix, so he can't hold that space.
Revy.
And the cross for Revy through couches. He finds 2. Here comes the push. It comes down to Quick and Kenny. They shut things down once again. No shot. 50 seconds on the push. And Kraken's already inside of weapons.
This could be the play. It's no time than now to ice up for the squad. Kenny for the slide in. 44 seconds in Indiana. They take the lead.
Quick's still alive. He's inside of guns. Bobos is here too. He's gonna start getting top window. You got players breaking out over by 10, working for the pinch. Kenny's prepared for it. Phobos, he picks one up. There's one deep off the pinch, but the device gets picked up and Kraken scores it. That puts the scoreline well and truly without a reach, unless you can start rallying things together for Purdue. It's a 3-0 for the Hoosiers.
You need a cap. You need it now. And a chance to give yourself overtime. 12 seconds left. Kraken not able to shut it down. As the run comes through, 7 seconds left. You're going to put it away to make it a 1-point game. With 2 seconds on the clock, there's just no time to pick up the device. No time to send it to extra points. Purdue, try as you might. But the Boilermakers just falling a little bit short in map number 3. And the Hoosiers, they bounce back in week number 2 to take back a 2-1 scoreline.
That's just absolutely insane, man. Like, how the hell did we get so even scoreline on the opposite side of the map to then end ourselves up in a situation where the ball gets rallied back and back? That is the most college COD game experience I've ever seen in my life. And like Overload within its own game mode, like we're still learning it. It's the first game that it's ever been introduced. Got CDL teams still coming up with ideas. You need to get a single bus being parked. It's just very interesting that it's always going to come down to those moments where like that 1-2 piece, one fumble comes through, and then one rally on the opposite side of the map, one good route, and then all hell breaks loose. They map number 3 to conclude this 3-0.
Oh, we got a bus parked back in match 2 today, so.
But I'm saying in this one, chill.
But I mean, how many goal line stops do we have from the Hoosiers? You think about multiple flanks being picked up from Indiana to shut down those chances over towards B. I think it happened a total of 3 times where Purdue had a chance to score there and they just were not able to get it done. And the dynamic duo that just continues to impress me out of Indiana, although it's not the sexiest scoreline from him as an individual, but it's the way that Kenny supports Kraken in those big play moments. Kenny countless times had goal line stops for the team, and that allows Kraken to have the confidence that, yeah, my team are going to ice up. I just need to fly. And he did exactly that, Andy. Another big game from Kraken, 33-22.
He was always in their grill in the map number 2. He was constantly flanking, and the supporting staff was just so sublime. I mean, again, my absolute eyes just continuously getting peeled to Kenny. I mean, 2,700 damage for him. He had the 15 assists, 19-26 is the sexiest KD ratio, but I mean, he's still averaging a good amount of damage per hard point. Look at his objective score as well. Even going back to the hard point, like this guy's like putting in the dirty work to try to set up his teammates for success, and I think that's going to continuously spell the difference makers for a lot of these other teams that aren't like your Northwoods, that aren't your Oklahoma Christians, like well-established like names that have either played in the pro league or have played at the higher echelon of challengers. You know what I'm saying, Colin? Like that's how you're going to be able to rise above the rest. Good team cohesion, good fundies, man. I'm a happy guy.
All the trust that you could have. Commiserations to Revy, 43-19. At one point, this guy was 20-9 in full takeover mode. Really the reason why Purdue had a chance in that map number 3. Never slowed down, but never really truly had that help to just shake it over the edge. There were so many times when you saw Revy make a double kill and you just look to your teammates, if you can trade one more player, we got ourselves a capture. It never happened, Andy. And Purdue really going to feel bad for that one with the performance that Revy put up inside of that map number 3. Looking back at this, I don't think the Boilermakers are going to keep their heads down low for too long. I mean, you look at the way that Colossus was played, it was neck and neck up until that 3rd rotation. Den, literally a 1-point game towards the end of it, could have been anyone's map number 3. The one thing I think Purdue can maybe go back and really improve on to level themselves up in the rest of the season is going to be that search and destroy. Towards the end of that S&D, we saw a couple new looks from that squad, but work to be done nonetheless.
Yeah, I think the same could be said for a lot of our CCL teams. I don't think that this is endemic just to the Boilermakers of Purdue. It's one of those things that, like, hesitation is going to come back to absolutely hurt you. You could take this into your rank play matches as well. You can take this into your test room as well. Like, hesitation will always come back to bite you in the rear end. That the moment that you hesitate, you give up about 5 to 10 seconds. Colin already talked about just using raid as that litmus test. It takes about 7 seconds to be able to cross from one map spawn all the way to the other. That hesitation is always going to come back to hurt you, especially in search and destroy. It'll win you championships. It'll win you matches. And typically in CCL, the way that the restructure will work, it'll get you in a better seeding going forward for the rest of the season. So I still think that there's still good time for Purdue to be able to learn from these mistakes and to go back from the VOD. Same thing for IU from their loss against Cincinnati, their varsity team. And look, Purdue had a round 1 bye. So I mean, like, they're like, to them, like, this is still their first loss. So like, you still have a lot of breathing room.
This is still your growing pains for not just Purdue, but for so many teams that we see across the CCL. And again, like I said at the end of our match number 2 tonight, Andy, it's all about that growth, and it's exciting to me to see these teams in a brand new season not only have new players to grow with, but some leaders coming back to try to bring them to new heights that I think everybody is looking forward to see towards playoffs down the line, towards the shakeup in terms of divisions, really everything that CCL has to offer this year. But as we close out, get ready for day number 2 on Tuesday. Andy, any finishing thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just excited to be able to see what CCL continuously has to offer. You know, we've only seen a handful of teams. Some of the big dogs still have yet to make it their way onto the broadcast. And once we do inevitably get through the restructure, then we start having those dream conversations, you know, like your Oklahoma Christians versus your Northwoods and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just excited to be able to see what the competition, much like every single year, is always going to end up. Who's going to be in that top 25 rankings after a couple of weeks, man? I'm all here for it.
Some bragging rights for the Hoosiers tonight with a 3-0 over the Boilermakers, a major win to close out day number 1. We'll be back on Tuesday with day 2 of week number 2. Same time, same place. See you tomorrow.